Hello, welcome back to Diamond Hands Trading's podcast. Your host today is Luck Nguyen. Accompanying me is my good friend Johnny Lee. Today we will talk about gun control. And before I wanted to start, I wanted your opinion on, gun control. What is your opinion on gun control?
Thank you, Luck. I think in today's society, I think gun control is not as structured as well as it should be. I think there needs to be a lot of work done. I think too many people have too many guns. Some people shouldn't own a gun. There isn't enough regulation on it, and I think people need to be checked more often. And I don't think people just need excessive amount of guns or even like ARs. I think just a handgun is fine, to be honest.
So before your whole incident, which we'll get into later, you were on the side of pro-gun or pro-gun control. Okay, good. What exactly happened to you? Because I know you told me the story, but let's just go over it detailed. Like, what exactly happened step by step, and how did you get to the situation where you are?
So I was getting ready for work one day, and I heard a knock on the door, and so I was almost late for work. I had to go, so I grabbed my keys, grabbed my phone, and opened the door. And next thing I saw was two guys, one holding a gun at me, and a girl in the back, and they were demanding that I let them in and show them my roommate's stuff so that they can steal something they want. I wasn't sure what. They had me placed somewhere. I wasn't allowed to see what they were doing. In the end, they wanted to take my keys and my phone, but I was terrified, but I really need this job, and I wasn't sure if they were gonna kill me or not. So I told them I really need to go to work. I was really gonna be late. They can have my phone, whatever. I just need to go to work. So they let me go eventually, but I did end up being late to work. It was a scare, but I'm definitely not pro-gun at all. They were easily able to just come up to my door. I don't know how they got in the building actually. It's locked in the front, and they just came up to me with a gun and they just took my roommate's stuff.
Yeah, so I don't understand, because they were underage too.
Oh yeah, they're definitely underage.
So I don't know how they got a hold of a gun, which is crazy, because at any age, any person can grab a gun at any time they want. So you also mentioned the fact that they should be background checked, and that's one of the topics of my research, which is extensive background check on everybody who wants to purchase a gun. Like, what is your thought? Like, how far should they go into this research?
I don't know if they can ever check somebody for malicious intent, because those kids who have the guns, I think they could have easily lied on a survey or something like that to get their guns. Mm-hmm. But definitely something like a mental health background check, at the very least. But I guess according to the Constitution, people are allowed to carry. They have a right to arms. So I think it'll be really hard to regulate it. But I just wish the government could do something to not let those things happen, because I feel like people can easily get their hands on a gun nowadays and just have a weapon whenever they want.
So that brings into another topic of mine, which is, why do you need a firearm, or why do you need to carry a firearm outside of your house? See, in my opinion, I don't see that being a purpose. Like, you don't have to carry around a firearm outside of your home, because there are people in place to protect you from these kind of things. So I don't understand why people are allowed to carry. What's your opinion on that?
I think I don't think people are allowed to carry. I think it's good for home self-defense, because when people are trying to either break into your home to rob you, if they're not doing that, they're trying to kill you. So therefore, you have a right to defend yourself with a gun in your home. Yeah. But outside the home, I think if you are going to get attacked, let's say guns were regulated, then they wouldn't have a gun, right? So they'd be attacking you with their hands, a knife maybe, or something like that. There's police, but I think tasers or even pepper spray. I know a lot of people carry pepper spray. Those are other violent methods. I know the gun is the easiest method, but it's the quickest way to take a life. Yeah. And I don't think that's a good idea to have in someone's hands.
I'm completely on the same page. So one of the arguments that I wanted to point it out from a anti-gun control protester or supporter, I'd say, is regulating these prevents citizens from protecting themselves from foreign invaders. The argument was that a responsible, well-armed, trained citizen is the best protection against domestic crime and a threat of foreign invasion. What is your thought?
I think it's hard to expect citizens to be able to defend themselves all the time. people have jobs, 9 to 5s. I don't think everybody can incorporate training to get self-defense. And some people do have the free time and will train just to have the ability to hurt people. I think it's hard to stop that. It's a very difficult situation. There are always people with malicious intent and who are, I guess, physically advantaged, especially over women, I'd say. They are the ones who carry a lot usually because they're fearful of men who are physically advantaged and have malicious intent. But yeah, I don't like that people can have guns whenever they want outside, but I feel like sometimes it's necessary, but it's just something I don't like, you know? I oppose it, but I don't know what the correct solution, the 100% correct solution would be to prevent people from having guns anytime they want outside.
All right, great. So now, one final question. There is a pro-gun supporter who says that the presence of a gun makes the conflict more likely to become more violent. Do you think? I think it does. In terms of self-defense, if someone, because everybody's self-defense view is different. You know, if I get punched in the face, you know, I could say, oh, I'm pulling out this gun in self-defense. If someone gets touched, then they feel threatened. Self-defense comes into play and he's allowed to pull out his gun. So do you think that having a presence of a gun in a situation where it could go violent is like worse? Or how should I phrase this? Like, would it end up worse if the person, or if two people had conflicts and one of them had a gun?
Oh yeah, I think usually if someone is well-trained, a well-trained law enforcement officer who's disciplined would be able to train themselves and not shoot and just hold them at bay. But I think two normal civilians, if they were in a argument that broke into a fight and one of them were to pull out a gun, I think it would result in someone getting fatally injured, if not severely injured.
All right, great. The final question is, since this incident, have you become more pro-gun or have you just stayed the same?
I think you meant anti-gun, or right?
No, it's a pro-gun
regulation.
Pro-gun regulation.
Pro-gun regulation. Yeah, I think I'm firm in my stance now. I don't think there's anyone that could sway me and tell me that it is a reasonable idea for someone to carry a firearm outside versus the idea of no one having a firearm outside. I think it's never a good idea for people to carry firearms outside. They should only have it in the home, and if anything, it should just be handguns. It should not be anything larger than that, anything more deadly than that.
And I just wanted to ask you, did you know, give me 1 second, statistically about, let's say, so Cliffords.org is a website I was researching. Gun violence statistics, on average, about 38,000 Americans die from gun violence every year. Did you know about that?
I did not know.
And it's not even through just, you know, interactions with other people. Like gun violence could be self-harm kind of thing. About, I think it was 15% of people commit suicide using a firearm. And this is inside their own home. So now that comes back to the other question, is like, should anyone really ever own a gun except for a police officer? Because it's a tough question, you know, if Second Amendment and stuff like that. But then again, Second Amendment was only made so that the people can unite and fight against the government if they became, you know, too powerful. So would that really, you know, work nowadays?
I think it's hard to say. As much as I like to say that the Second Amendment should be somehow taken away, I think it is necessary to be there in case something like the Revolutionary War needs to happen again, or like the people need to overthrow the government again. Yeah. I think that is obviously a possible reason, a plausible reason why that amendment should be there. But from a moral standpoint, I'd rather not. I don't think anyone should really have a gun besides law enforcement. And it'd be nice if law enforcement didn't have guns at all in general, honestly.
Yeah, I completely agree.
The ability to take away someone's life in maybe less than a second is just not a good idea.
I mean, I think tasers and batons work just fine, especially if it's, you know, a group of two going on a group of one, you know. But yeah, that concludes today's podcast. Thank you for joining us. The host is Luck. If you want to invite to the Diamond Hands Trading, just message me on Discord. Username is Luck, #0703. Thank you for joining.